my kids behind me singing Jingle Bells on January 14th on the way to a birthday party. But yeah, what I want to talk about is we're not promised tomorrow. So we're going to this birthday party, and then afterwards I've actually got okay, I think I'm back. It's funny, I walk like 5 steps and it seems like it's going to reconnect and then it disconnects. You know what, I'm just going to stand here so that I don't lose this connection right now. Not promised tomorrow. I have a call with family later where all of my family's getting together at a big party. It's like a little potluck, and I'm talking everybody. Like my grandpa's going to be there, who I haven't seen in probably 3 years now, partly due to the travel restrictions that we were, you know, up against when we were back in Canada. But just life too, you know, like we moved down here. He lives on a farm just outside of Regina, so I don't get there very often. And I'm looking at my youngest son right now, Bodhi, and I don't believe he's ever met him before. He's probably seen photos and videos and stuff because I post lots of things and share stuff with family, but it's pretty special to know that I'm going to be able to see all of my sisters, my nieces, nephews, my mom, my dad, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my grandpa, my grandma. It's going to be fun. It's going to be chaotic, but it'll be fun because these kids obviously be all fired up on birthday cake by the time they get on that call around 6 p.m. But it just reminded me that like we're not promised tomorrow. And I looked at this list of people that were significant to me that I've lost, and ones that I didn't even realize that I had lost, that I remembered or recognized in the last like 24 hours. So for anybody that doesn't know, my wife and I, Shar, lost 2 kids in preterm birth, Rayan and India, and they were both pretty far along, and it was devastating. But we've come to terms with the divinity of that and the fact that we have 2 boys now because that happened. I lost my grandma. It was about 5 years ago now, I guess. And that was a tough one on the family because we hadn't really lost anybody aside from another loss that we did experience about 25 years ago, which was my cousin who took his own life. And that was a completely different feeling. That wasn't an old age death. That was he didn't feel like he had any other options. And to this day, it still is something that my family is constantly just navigating and facing and dealing with, and realizing that like life is short. I saw my friend and former clients and somebody that I highly respect, Andrew Silito, post the other day about, and he shared this story before, but he talked about how his dad died in his sleep when he was 16 years old, and how the day before he was a 16-year-old kid and his dad was like, get over here and give me a hug, and he was like, oh, I'll begrudgingly kind of giving him a hug, you know, 16-year-olds do. And the next day he was gone, right? And Andrew talks about how that drives his purpose now, to make sure that the people that he serves, and of course himself too, that he shows up with integrity to take care of himself, to be present in his relationship with his family, with his kids, to lead himself and others. And then I even think about my wife's dad. She lost him about 3 years ago now, and man, life has never been the same since. That was a rock for her. And while we believe that his spirit lives on and his ashes are in the river in Canada and they're in the ocean here, it still hurts to know that we have that loss collectively. And then lastly, but not leastly, is a friend of mine. Her name was Vaya. Vaya was somebody that I met in a experience that I was in 2013. And I knew that she was sick with cancer, but I didn't realize that she actually passed away last August. And I know that she was deeply spiritual and that she did a lot of what people would call alternative healing methods to try and get better. And ultimately, her time was up, and that was it. But yeah, all of these things have a layer of of sadness to them, but they also have a layer of reminder of we don't have much time in these bodies, and we get to appreciate and love every single moment that we have to be present. And as I say that, here I am on a phone going live while my family just walked up ahead of me. So knowing that and having the awareness around it, I'm going to go and reconnect with my family and go to this birthday party and look forward to this phone call that I'm going to have later with my extended family as well. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe somebody else needed to hear this as a reminder of what's important, and the appreciation that we get to have to just be freaking alive. So grateful for that. Oh, and sending out some love to Mike Prince, who led our breathwork session this morning, which was incredible and had a lot of really deep emotional meaning to all the guys that showed up there. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Trevor Turnbull Show. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please consider subscribing on my YouTube channel, as well as on your favorite podcast platform. So until next time, remember, today is a beautiful day of opportunity. Trust that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. So be grateful, be curious, and be brave.